Hey, it's JD from Wildwood. I'm here. I'm going to showcase some tools for teachers that use AI and will enable you to have lesson plans and the presentations to go with them very, very quickly. The first tool is one you might have heard about. It's called KhanMigo, which is an extension of Khan Academy. It uses ChatGPT is the underlayer, the LLM, as they say. And we're here, and you'll find this on your Khan Academy page. If you're a teacher, it should look like this. We're here on KhanMigo Tools. I scroll down and I click on Lesson Plan. When you click on Lesson Plan, you're going to be taken to a screen that looks like this. You can make it a little bit bigger here. And you just select a topic. You can either type one up yourself or pick one that's already on Khan Academy. I went ahead and picked one here that's 11th grade biology. Pick cell membrane and cell wall. I pick a standard 5-part format with the objective, the introduction, etc. And then I picked high detail and I hit start. And it thinks for a few seconds and it gives me this fantastic lesson plan. There might be some things that you want to change. I will try and put a link to this in the body down below. You'll be able to click on it on YouTube so you can see what it gave us. It's very good. The first thing I did notice, though, it didn't have a standard. And one of the ways that KhanMigo works is when it had no standard, I selected that text and I clicked this one over here, discuss. And when you hit discuss, it'll launch a window. And what I said is I need a standard for this. And then it then prompted me what type of standard. And I said Oregon. He said we don't have the Oregon science standards readily available. And I said just give me the national science standard. And it came up with the NGSS standard and it rendered it here for me. So it's really amazing in terms of what it has access to. It's not perfect yet, but it's very good. And just so you can see, this is a science lesson, but it can also do math. Here's a systems of equation lesson that I pulled up, something I've worked with my kids with before, and I've taught a little bit. And initially, the only problem I encountered with this is instead of the equations and the examples, it gave me some script. And so it originally looked like this, and I just simply selected it. And then I hit that little button where we get over here, try something different, and it automatically rendered it as an equation that students would recognize if I printed it out. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. So we've used AI to come up with a great baseline for our lesson plan. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but it's going to be a really good starting point. And we all know teachers have too little time and too many demands, so this will potentially make your life a lot easier. Now, go to Gamma.app, and this is, they do have a free version. The one I'm going to show you is the paid version. It's going to do slightly better, longer presentations and slightly better AI-generated images. But we're going to go here to Gamma.app. I log in and I click on Generate with AI. But instead of clicking actually here on Generate, I'm going to slide over here and click Import File. On Khan Academy, I went to Export and I set it as a Word doc. And I imported the first one on cell membranes. I then got to the next screen here, which I then pick a presentation. I click Continue, and then I'm greeted with this screen. And on this screen, we're going to use the Generate module, which will generate a little bit of filler text for us. And if your lesson plan is a little dry, it'll help expand upon that. And you'll be able to change that by setting the tone here and who your audience is. I do AI images. I changed it a little bit. I said I want it to be futuristic and scientific looking. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but it understood. Then I selected Recraft Vector Illustration, which is only available in the paid model. If you get the free model, which we're going to try out, you can do one of these three here. They're very good. They're not quite as good, but try it out. See what you like and see if it's worth $10 or $20 a month, because the amount of time it's going to save you, you're buying back your time. It's really good. Finally, I click Traditional, and that's going to give you typically a slide that's going to fit better on a projector or a screen. At the bottom here, you can select the number of cards you want. I typically go for more rather than less, and then you hit continue. And it'll take you about probably 2 or 3 minutes after you've selected a color. This is the color scheme I selected. And then finally, this is what we're given. Now here's the good thing. If there's anything you don't like in the lesson, I like it a lot, but things that I didn't like were a little bit too much space here. So I can click Edit with AI, and I can say, this is great, but the text is too small and it needs more visuals. And so I can hit that and it's going to do something. Now I have no idea what it's going to give me, but the generate with AI feature is really nice. And I'm going to show you an example on a mathematics question here in a minute where it really makes it a little bit better. Okay, now the first thing you should notice here is whenever you're using AI and LLM to generate images, one of the main problems you're going to have, and this is something that will hopefully change within a year, hopefully even sooner, is text. It gets wrong. So sometimes it comes out correctly like this. We have plain savoir, and then you're going to notice here some of these are not correct. So that is something you may need to re-render, or you can always edit the image yourself if you'd like, or even just make a note to the class that this is not perfect. Ideally, you'll be able to find one on the web and replace it. Now, one feature that is in beta now that I will show you is they're going to have, actually, I'm lying. They're going to have one that uses stock images. Oh, here we go. Sorry, clicked on the wrong thing. Where it says AI images, yeah, here we go. Stock photos. Now this is a beta, but if we click on that, it could potentially give us something that is going to work a little bit better if we need our text to be exactly right. And in science, we do if we're asking for a longer demonstration. So click this, click generate, and then it's going to go to work. We'll click back here in a second, and I'll be able to show you just how fast it works. Now the question is, will the... Okay, now here's one where it's a bit, maybe it's eye-catching, but it is a bit silly. Is, as I mentioned, this is a beta feature. I was hoping that it might give us a image that was worthwhile in terms of what a cell membrane looks like. As far as an image, it did not, as you can see. So there's your beta feature. So don't use that one. Now, we're back here, and then I wanted to show you what happens if we go on the KhanMigo and we do a mathematics lesson. And I went in and I generated one, as I mentioned before, in systems of equation. Then I went over to Gamma. I pasted that in as well from the docx file. Here we have recraft vector illustration, which is my preferred one. As we found out, the stock images, stock photos don't work that well. You could do the web images. That will take you more times. I have not tried this one. Search for illustrations from Pictographic. And maybe I should have. While we do the next one, I want to see, just because why not? And then I'm going to hit render. We're going to make it 15, just to see what it comes up with. And go here with a lighter color scheme. Click generate. And then I'm going to go back here to the mathematics one and show you that if you get a slide that you're like this one in systems of equation, I found it to be very good, but it seemed to be skipping steps. So I explicitly told it after I clicked on the button here in the upper left-hand corner, edit with AI, that each systems of equations step should be explained slide by slide, step by step. So if there's 6 steps, there's 6 slides. And really slow down and use the math to fill up the slide. And it did. It did a really great job. And one of the things I noticed here is that here's one, for example. It's worked. Then it showed me, next we're going to distribute. The only thing I noticed here is it didn't change the numbers here, which is something you can change with a little bit of tinkering. But it didn't initially have this slide because I added it. So that's something that hopefully they'll add in a later feature date, is if you hit here the edit with AI and you hit generate, it'll only typically generate one slide, even if it needs 3. So you're still going to need to here, you're going to have to click blank card, and then you're going to have to hit edit with AI, and you're going to say continue from the previous slide and hit enter. And it will do that for you. It did that for me. I ended up adding 2 more slides for each step, and it expanded upon it. Now, for what I notice here is that we're on distribute to 3. And so for some of these, this should really be, let's click here, let's click edit with AI. Change the numbering to start at 4 on the arrows. We hit enter, and we'll see if it does it, because one thing that I do notice is the continuity between slides can occasionally be off. As you see there, that didn't help us out. So it's not perfect, but it is very good. As you can see here, this one did it, and that was the final thing. Now, will your students notice that every slide starts 1 through 3, 4? I don't know. But one thing I will tell you is that you can go in and manually edit these slides, just like you would a PowerPoint or a Keynote presentation on an Apple device or a Google presentation. So that's all there, and it's online. And now one of the best parts, before we click back to the one we were rendering to see if the pictograms are any better, is that in addition to presenting, which you click here and you'll present it just like you're on a projector, you can slide in a different way. You can slide it to a website, and you can email it to your students if you have a flipped classroom or you're trying to publish it to the web so that they're able to see it in a way where maybe if they weren't a class, they'll be able to view this. And it's really, really good so far. It's going to save you a lot of time and energy. Neither of these tools are perfect, but after you get the use of them and after you get the hang of editing here, I think it's going to cut down your time a lot and save you a lot of time, and you can't get your time back. Now, let's just do a quick check on what it did for rendering of the pictograms. If I can find the one that I did. Oh, we had to wait till it clicked back this up. Now, as you can see, these are basically 2D illustrations. I would not say the pictograms are any better. I'd stick with the vector illustration AI, the one that I have initially selected, but it might be a little bit better. Not great, because if we click here at slide number 6, as you can see, it's giving us a break. I guess that's some help. Not really. And if you want to reorder your slides, you're going to be able to click over here and just drag them and drop them, just like if you were in any presentation. And there's lots of other features here. Insert an image. If you already have your science images in some sort of resource that you know about, that's how you do it. As of right now, the AI will not generate the images perfectly. And as I mentioned, there's really no current video or photo AI that I've found that will be able to generate text accurately in all the sentences. It'll usually be 50% off every time. So check these out. We have KhanMigo, which you can get at khanacademy.com. And then we have Gamma, which is at Gamma.app. So that's not a .com. Gamma has a free tier. Khan Academy is completely free. And so are all the KhanMigo resources. Initially, you did have to pay, but as of right now, I believe it's all free. And they have a lot of great tools. I'll do some other tools in different videos. So check it out. Have a great day. And if you like this, like and subscribe.